What is going on YouTube, every and all out there? On this beautiful day, here I am in Columbia, Mississippi at the Rest Haven Cemetery. And I'm here to visit the grave of one of the greatest football players to ever play the game. And of course, that man's name is Walter Payton. Of course, we all know Walter Payton being on that 1985 Chicago Bears super team to win it all. We all know him to be one of the greatest running backs ever. Some would say he is the greatest running back ever. And making the stutter step, his signature move, bringing back the good old-fashioned stiff arm right in the neck. And Walter Payton, of course, was never known to really run out of bounds when he was in motion heading towards the end zone. No, he's crashing right into you. He ain't doing that sissy boy running out of bounds nonsense that a lot of people do nowadays. That's what we called old school football. Originally, Walter was born July 25th, 1954 out here in Columbia, Mississippi. Now, we all know that when it comes to athletics, he was very, very gifted. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he just was. There's athletes, and then there's super athletes, and this guy was a super athlete. But football actually wasn't his first choice or first love. It was actually playing drums. He played in a couple jazz bands with his friends out here in Columbia. When he was in high school, he also played on the high school marching band. And his older brother, he played football, but Walter wasn't really into football the way he was into drumming. But later on, of course, him being on the high school track team, they seen how fast he was. He competed in, I believe, all the events: long jump, high jump, all that stuff. And one of the coaches on the football team convinced him to get on the high school team. And he told the coach, he said, yeah, I'll join, I'll play, but it can't get in the way of my drumming. So he played football, and he was such a gifted athlete. The very first carry that when he grabbed the ball, the very first play on his high school career, he ran for a 65-yard touchdown. I guess you would have to let everybody know on the opposing teams to be wary of this kid. This kid's name's Walter. This kid's really fast. He's very powerful, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He played here during a year when the high schools in Columbia, they desegregated. So before, you had black kids staying or going to a black high school, white kids, white high school. So when the high schools basically let any and every race in, there was a lot of, people screaming, a lot of unsavory words. Some of them didn't like that Walter was now playing for a desegregated school. There were racist fans in the stands, and they're saying, God, I'm such a racist, but I really love this kid because he's fast. I guess I'll root for him. And as Walter got older, he graduated high school. Originally, he was going to go to Kansas State, but he ended up changing his mind, and he went to Jackson State here in Mississippi, and that's where his brother went, so he went there too. A fantastic collegiate athlete, to say the least. I believe he broke a rushing record in the 1973 season when he played for, I believe they're the Tigers. I hope I remember that. The Jackson State Tigers. I hope so. So he gets out of school. He gets selected. I believe he was the 4th pick in the draft. He got picked by Chicago. And, the rest is really history. you don't really see too many guys like that, just athletically gifted. And, football has kind of gone away from the running back. It used to be like a real important position. I mean, it still is, but it isn't what it used to be back in the days. When he retired from football in 1987, he retired with the most receptions by a non-receiver in total. He wasn't a quarterback, but he did have 8 touchdown passes. So I don't know if it was because he was so athletically gifted or that he was actually a pretty good quarterback when Chicago would run a lot of plays where he would be the quarterback for that moment in time on the team. He also, formerly held other records, yards rushing in the season, rushing touchdowns, so forth and so on. Here is a fun fact about Walter Payton. He broke, I think it was a 1977 NFL season. He broke the single game rushing yards record. He rushed at one game against the Vikings for 275 yards in a single game. That's almost as impressive as Al Bundy's 4 touchdowns in a single game. Polk High, 1966. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Guess whose record he broke? He broke O.J. Simpson's record. He had 273 rushing yards in a game. And of course, we all know O.J. Simpson, one of the greatest football players to ever live. And he went on to do many other things, movies, TVs, murdered his wife, stuff like that. Hey, guys, if the glove don't fit, then you surely must acquit. Hey, say what you want about Johnny Cochran. You say what you want about that man. But rest in peace, he did his job. To our chagrin. It is what it is. So, of course, 1977, that was the same year that he also was the MVP and NFL Man of the Year. I didn't know NFL gave out Man of the Year awards. He retired in 1987, and a few years after that, he came out saying that he had liver disease. Basically, he had cancer of the bile duct. It's a very long word, and if I try to pronounce it, I'm gonna butcher it. I think it's called carcinoma, something like that. I'll put it in the video. But this is the grave of Walter Payton's dad and mom, and his cremated ashes are buried in this plot. Now, his name is not on the stone. I don't know why. I went to go see if that was the stone, and no. But his cremated ashes were interred with his parents. And, just one of the great NFL players of all time. Rest in peace to Walter Payton. Died very, very young. What a shame. That's when I see these stories, it always amazes me, and it still never gets old how young they died. Okay. Rest in peace to Walter Payton. Died at the age of 45. I'll be lucky if I can make it to that. Okay, guys. Fascinating graveyard. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch up with y'all later. Have a good day. Peace out.